I'll just start recording. So I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about how you got started with your journey and what it's kind of been like for you.
Well, I think for me, when I started out 5 years ago, it was because I had tried a bunch of things. And over a series of years since having my three kids, and feeling like even when I got somewhere, I always slipped up and I always reverted back to what I used to be doing. So even if I took off weight or started an exercise routine, I couldn't stick with it. So I was in a place where I was really just ready to change, not ready to try something. I was ready to do something different.
I love that. I think that that was the same for me. I feel like it was just a point where I just realized that what I was doing in the past just wasn't going to work anymore. And I didn't know what to do or where to go, but I felt some familiarity when I saw some of my friends, doing some changing and having success. And I felt like, if I made a change that I would start to have that success too, you know. Um, what what was it like for you when you first started? Was it hard?
It was really hard, but my mentality also was that I was going to do this for a month straight. Like I was going to do it for the whole month and I was going to go all in and I was going to do it exactly the way it was meant to be done. Because just like you, I had seen, friends, people I know have great success. And I was thinking to myself, if she can do it, I can do it. And I won't know if this works for me unless I go all in and do it exactly the way it's meant to be done.
Which it's funny that you say that because I actually remember when we started and I couldn't go all in to start. I couldn't do it. It was too overwhelming to me. And I decided, I said, all right, I'm going to start with just allowing myself 30 minutes of time each day. Because for me to think of, using all of these different tools at once, it frightened me and it made me get that stuck feeling. But I found that if I went a little bit at a time, that I was able to progress and take those small steps. So, I think it's really cool that there's, so many different ways to go about this, but the biggest point is that we're not staying stuck anymore. We're
Right.
making that
And
progress.
I think the reason why for both of us was because of the support and the accountability. But everything I had done before starting this, I had fallen back on my ways because I was doing it alone. And I think that in this day and age, we do that all the time. We're always trying to do it alone, or we're embarrassed to ask for help, or we don't really want to be held accountable. So, this way, if it doesn't work, no one will know, you know, and, we're okay with letting ourselves down. But it's a lot harder when you have other people who are counting on you to show up or are there to support you, to cheer you on, or to help you work through those stumbling points. So I think that is why.
And I think you're 100% correct because it was easier for me to keep things. Well, I felt like it was easier for me to keep it to myself, but it actually made it so much harder because I just kind of continued with those thoughts. But once I found the support that we have now, I have been able to learn to actually lean in. And each time I've leaned in and shared where I was stuck, I have so quickly moved past that roadblock where for so many years, like you said, I would kind of hold it in to myself and not let anybody else know that I was in trouble or that I needed help with something because I didn't want people to look at me as somebody that like I don't know, was doing something wrong, or, you know, I just didn't want to feel that vulnerability. But really, what I've learned the most is that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. And I'm so thankful for the support that we have and the tools that we have these days. The fact that we just were talking, that we're celebrating 5 years of being on this journey, and it's just been such an amazing experience.
Well, and you know what? So this is making me think too, because I think it's all about failing. And like I had said, when I got here and I chose this, it's because I had failed so many times before. And I think we really just expect ourselves to fail. We stopped believing that we can actually do these hard things to improve our life. And if we don't tell anybody and we're not being held accountable, we can fail quietly and nobody will know, you
Mhm.
know, because it's going to happen. And
Mhm.
I think that that was where my mindset was, is that I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it work because I know that it does and I'm ready.
And
So,
yeah, I think you said an awesome thing too about like expecting us to fail. And I think that that was such a big thing as well, because it's a mindset shift. You know, I think we're, you know, growing up, we always saw these fads of things that were going to work immediately. You know, and something I've really learned is that there is no magic pill. There are tools, you know, and strategies, and like you said, that support that has been so key for me, to help make those changes. And understanding, I think, you know, that change isn't going to happen overnight was a huge thing as well. You know, setting those smaller expectations and those smaller goals. And, you know, I love our group, how we do 3 weeks at a time. Like that's how I started, you know, I going back to, you know, I couldn't do it all at once, but I could continue on and add on as I built on that strength.
yeah.
So I think that that was, you know, a really key point too.
Yeah, maybe that's where we should go with next time, because talking about those 3 week increments of that, maybe you have a huge goal, but we can't just look at the huge goal. We have to look at what are the steps we need to take there.
I 100% agree, and I can't wait for that.
Okay.